Hey guys, my name is Stephen Dawson. I am new here to the help desk team, and this week I'm going to continue talking about stress and stress management. So last week we heard from Kelly, and her verse was Philippians 4 6 through 7, and in that the writer tells us to present our requests and our anxieties and stress to God. So this week I wanted to ask the question, what is stress? Because sometimes I think we might say we're stressed and we don't give much thought to what that actually is. So I wanted to define it. So the most common definition that I could find is simply it's pressure of tension that results from a demanding situation. I think that makes sense. Uh, we feel this stress sometimes mentally, emotionally, and physically. When we're stressed, we may not know it in our brain yet, but our body knows it. We get sick, our blood pressure rises, we have headaches, we can't sleep. We've all been there. We know exactly what I mean when I say those things. So today, what I want us to understand is that typically we cannot change the stressor or the thing that is causing us stress, but we can change ourselves. That seems easy enough to say, but what do I mean? So when I'm reading the Bible and looking for guidance in times of anxiety, which again is another easy thing to say, but perhaps not all of us do it as much as we intend to. But I often come across passages that read something along the lines of do not worry, put your trust in the Lord, give your worries to the Lord, consider it joy, persevere, and things like that. And each of these verses has its own unique wisdom, I think, that can be applicable in different situations, but they all have a common tie, and that's pointing us to changing ourselves, growing ourselves. We have to make a choice to change, a change to trust God, to persevere through our challenges, to consider our situation joy. I doubt that many of us, I just look at myself, have those kind of reactions as a first natural response. Normally, when adversity, change, and fear approach us, we react with anxiety and panic. I do. Um, I stress out. I try and think of a way to change the thing that is causing me stress. But oftentimes, I can't. We can't. And so I just continue to find myself in stress. Recently, I couldn't change my situation when I found my family, my wife and I, in an overnight room of a women's and children's hospital. So the specialists and doctors there told us there was a very high possibility that my wife was about to deliver our daughter at 23 weeks pregnant. So the chances of survival for that are not very great for the child. And so, we were doing everything we could to think, how could we change that situation? How could I change that situation? What could I have done better? What could I have done differently? But there was nothing. There was nothing that I could have done. So that night passed. We were able to go home. But any day, they told us we might be back in that hospital. And so my wife and I had to sit down and we had to decide what we were going to do moving forward, because it was really impossible for us to live like that with that fear and that anxiety. And really all that we could come up with was that we both had to love each other through it. We had to encourage each other. And so that was what we did. Every day, whenever we were stressed out, whenever we would have anxiety, we made it a point to instead encourage the other person, to love them, to pray for them. And that did not change the situation. It didn't change the fear that either of us had, but it certainly changed how we responded to each other. It changed how we both felt. And really, that's what we're talking about, stress here, because stress is that feeling that takes over our bodies and our minds. And it really changed the stress that we had in that situation. And so I want for us to remember that, that wasn't our natural reaction. It's not natural to be in a moment that comes with anxiety and fear and stress and to say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to encourage my way through this. It's not. That's not what we typically do. But we have to remember the main point, which is we cannot change the thing that is causing us stress, but we absolutely can change ourselves. Our brains are designed to learn and adapt. When we give in to stress and anxiety, we teach our brain that this is the proper reaction to difficult situations, and so soon we don't even make that decision anymore. We don't make that choice. We just are stressed. We find ourselves waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, I'm stressed. That's what's wrong. And instead of that, we have to choose to teach our brains to reach out, to encourage, to love, to read our Bibles, to reach out to God, to, as Philippians tells us, in every situation be in prayer and petition with thanksgiving and present our requests to God. So as we move forward this week, just remember, when you find yourself in stress, know you're in stress, recognize that, and then move forward growing yourself with love and encouragement. Thanks, guys.